car's a 1958 Bel Air Chev. It's New Zealand new. As you can see, it's right-hand drive, and the car was first sold by Blackwells in Christchurch to Lane Walker Rudkin. Interestingly, I saw this car at school because the first owner, I saw it then, and it was a car that I really liked the shape of. And then interestingly, the second owner, who had it for the longest time apart from myself, I played tennis with his daughter. And then the third owner only owned it a year, and I was at Hanmer back before cell phones were around, and the car was advertised for sale. My wife said, "Oh, give the guy a ring when you get home," and I wanted to be home to ring up about the car. When we got home, I rang, and the guy answered, and he said, "Great, my phone's working." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, my phone's been out all weekend." And I said, "I've rung up about the car." And he said, "Oh no, it's still here." He said, "You're the first person to ring." I was there in 5 minutes. I walked up the drive and I recognised the number plate, AM 1096. I thought, wow, this is the same car. So I've owned the car since the mid-late 80s. It was converted to run on unleaded fuel. So apart from the engine, the car's pretty much still standard and original. The seats are original. It still runs its original engine, gearbox and diff, and everything's original about the car. So it's a vehicle that we use now for sort of Sunday drives, going here and there. We took it, the Chev and the Caravan, my wife and I, to Geraldine at Queen's birthday weekend, and it hummed away down there happily. So it's a great old car to drive. She's pretty big to park, no power steering, but all in all a great car, and it gets lots of looks on the road. I've got this one because when I was a kid of about 15, I was a contractor and I was unable to drive a heavy truck, so I had these trucks run from 41 to 47, so 1941 to 1947, and I had a 42 version of this truck, pretty much exactly the same, and I used to tow a big trailer with it and have my tractor and planter on the back. So as time went by, the truck got sold, and then one day I was going to a business I had in Dunedin, and I saw this old girl sitting on the railway line on my travels down there, and I spent the rest of the day trying to find its owner and buy the truck. We were towing it home. The deck was on it, but it wasn't bolted down. I think somebody might have wanted to do something with it when I first saw it, because the dashboard was painted and the headlining had been redone. So those two things were in good order, but the rest of the truck was very original. And the engine had a crack in the block, because the truck originally came from Methven, so the big frosts up there had broken the block, and whenever you started it and revved it, the water sprayed out onto the exhaust and filled the cab with steam. When it got to about Rakaia, it decided it might go, and my son was sitting on the seat. We had no floorboards. He was pretty young in those days, and the road was rushing past underneath us. And the old girl fired up, and so we unhooked it off the back of the Cressida, and James and I just proceeded to see if we could drive it home. And every time we accelerated, the cab would fill with steam, but it made it all the way back to town, and it got slowly restored as time and money were available. It tows a tandem trailer. And when I was a car dismantler, we'd often go to Sims with it, and it would have a couple of cars stacked up on the trailer at the back, and sometimes we'd have one in the back of the truck. But no, it gets used, and it's there to be used.